All right. Well, let's move on to the next game that only a third of us will be able to see, or less. It depends on how your subscriptions are set up. The
Right.
Miami Dolphins are playing the Kansas City Chiefs, also known as Butterfinger Chiefs, in the Peacock streamed
Which
availability.
makes
The
sense.
it doesn't make sense at
They
all. It
picked
doesn't
Taylor
make
Swift
sense.
has to be behind this. Does Taylor own Peacock?
who?
I don't know. Good
She might be a
question. Does
minority
Taylor
owner, man.
does
It's called
what kind
business.
of investment? Oh, okay. All
It's
right.
called
Say what?
business.
Well, he's called business. It ain't none of mine. So
They, they
Never
paid
mind.
110 million.
They might not have mine.
Do you want to see Dolph? This is one of the bigger games, actually. Like,
It is.
so
It is.
they did chose the right game. We all could see it for what it is. Like, we're not blind to what the strategy is here. So either you want to sacrifice a few dollars or not. I mean, some people are just gonna be, what to say, spiteful to themselves and just be like, "Oh, you want to play here? Well, I hope your ratings go down. I'm not watching it. All right, who's missing out? You think Peacock is missing out on you not watching it? Maybe a little bit, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people are gonna still tune in.
I mean, NFL went straight magic down one by pimping these games out to the different networks, man. I'm just,
yeah, it's the same network though.
yeah,
It's NBC.
It
I
is.
see you, Goodell.
It is.
Man,
Trying to get
all
streaming
right,
up.
man.
Trying to
Who
get
who
streaming
y'all
up.
got, man? Who y'all got? Because I'm not
I,
watching it on Peacock. I
I'll
might go
jump on
find
this one
somebody else.
first, man. So Vegas has the Chiefs, right? Vegas has the Chiefs, but who is Patty throwing to, man? The Dolphins defense. I know we talked about it. The Tracksters. I know, Chris. You said it's like negative 9,000 degrees in Kansas City that game, man. But you only got to shut down Kelsey, man. And Pacheco's a small scat back. Keep Pacheco in, slow down Kelsey. Mahomes can't pass it to himself. I'm going with
For
Miami, man. Miami has the highest scoring offense in the AFC. Yes, I know they have a poor record against winning playoff teams, but we're just looking for lightning in the bottle here in 9,000 sub-zero weather. I think Miami got it, man. I'm going against Vegas on this one. Miami, Alabama, roll tide, baby. Come on, Tua, see it through.
I like that
Tua and
terminology. I
Waddy,
like
see
that
it through.
terminology. Lightning in the bottle.
Kev, Kev. I forgot he's a. He always got to find a way to plug in the losing Alabama Crimson Tide.
Hey, that was
We made
scripted.
it to the
That was
playoffs,
scripted.
bro. We good.
That was scripted.
That was it was scripted to Alabama. They should have even been in the playoffs. Should
Nah,
have been
nah,
FSU.
Why?
Let's move
fake
on.
news.
Why?
Fake
Let's
news.
move. Let's move on
Yeah,
to Florida.
don't,
Let's
don't
let's
you
move
don't
on.
That you
Let's
sound ridiculous. Right? You sound ridiculous. You sound like
Florida State University should have
see what,
won.
did you see what Georgia did to Florida State? That's all we got to say in the conversation.
we can't
I
say
mean,
that
at the end of the
because
day, if you're not making it into the big championship, yeah, it doesn't matter. Like no one cares. If you lose, you lose. So what?
they sat out like 30 players. 30 players opt out. Um, and
Yeah,
I
it's like
keep seeing
playing
that
the
number
NIT.
change. I've
Get out of
seen
here.
Florida State fans say 50 players opt out. 100 players opt out. It's like the
Yeah.
number just keeps growing bigger and bigger, but
200
nobody was on the field. Like, what were you watching? But it was a horrible game. They
players
made that
opted out.
choice. They made that choice, so they got to deal with the
Yeah.
circumstance. They showed us. They had the opportunity to show us why they needed to be in the final
Yes.
spot, and they didn't. So you got to deal with
Nope.
what you gave us, and it was a mess. It was a hot mess. Georgia showed up and did what it needed to do. You should have done the same. Back to this Kansas City, Miami Dolphins. Yes, I understand it's going to be cold, but I'm with Kurt on this lightning in the bottle um, terminology because again, we watched Kansas City all season long, and it's just been just blunder after blunder after blunder. And I don't see any reason why it should stop now. Like some of the games they've won, it's just been like, wow, they
Mhm.
won. Like no, not a mistake at the right time, and they happen to win. Who you got to throw it to? You mentioned Kelsey. I feel like Kelsey's been slowing down himself. To me, he hasn't been that big of a factor. So if
He's the
that's all
only
we're worried
focus.
about,
Yeah.
if that's all we're worried about is Kelsey, then I'm gonna go with Dolphins.
Yeah. Go and be the
Okay, all
eyeball,
right.
man. Go and
See,
be the eyeball.
no, I'm not. I'm not the eyeball. I'm just number one. I'm with Vegas, so me and Vegas are the only people who have common sense with this. Because number one, while while Miami has the number one offense, whenever they play a team that actually has a winning record, they can't win.
Throw the stats out the
Except for
window.
Except for the
Throw
Cowboys.
it out the
Oh,
window.
okay, throw that stats out. Also, another stat. Yes, it's gonna be 7 degrees outside. Guess where Miami plays in? In Miami, where it doesn't even get below 70 degrees. You're gonna go into a freaking Kansas City and play in 9-degree weather, and you think you're gonna perform just as well? And then the third thing,
Tyreek just
you know
came
the okay, so okay, Tua. It has is Tyreek gonna throw the ball to himself and catch the ball? Because Tua has to throw the ball, right? The running backs are speed running backs. They're not power backs. They're gonna just speed their way through in 9-degree weather, potential snow, and again, they last played this season in November. And guess who won?
We know who won.
Okay,
All
all
right,
right. So we
you ready
know
for the
that
answer?
they've run in the past. We know that they've run in the past. We know the Kansas City would beat them in fall. You think they're gonna just okay? Anyways,
So our both
Kansas City
teams,
Chiefs.
our both teams facing the same weather conditions. I understand you're giving Miami a negative because
Yes,
they don't play there, but at the same time, both teams have to deal with the same weather conditions. Like,
I agree.
yeah,
And one is accustomed to doing it every year, and another team is the Miami
who
Dolphins.
gets accustomed to doing anything every year? Like, who gets accustomed to doing anything one, two, three
Every
times a year? You don't get accustomed to it.
Chicago Bears,
That's that's
Chicago Bears,
physiologically impossible.
Gr-
You don't do something once or
Green Bay
twice a
Packers,
year and say you get accustomed to it. I'm not gonna go work out
Denver
bench
Nuggets,
press today and then take 6 months off and bench press tomorrow and be like, oh, I'm used to it. Like,
New England Patriots. They're accustomed to cheating. Like there's things you just get accustomed to doing. Like your body adapts to it. You do it every year. Every year, Chicago has to go outside and get hit in the face by wind in like 2-degree wind chills, and they be like, "Man, I gotta go to work." Like they don't even think about it. If we go, Californians, if you even smell 50-degree weather, you got to have a cardiac
I feel
arrest.
you.
So you can get used to
You
things.
can
Now you may not like it, but you can get used to
to
it,
some degree.
and they're just more accustomed to doing
Yeah,
it.
just a little
It's
bit.
okay.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Okay. Just a little bit. All right. So y'all got Miami Dolphins. I don't know why, but y'all got Miami Dolphins, and then me and Vegas are the one was making sense. Okay, gotcha. So all right, Saturday's over with. Move on to Sunday.